NHL, fantasy sports, and more. Whether it's through forums or articles, or their extraordinary podcast network, Belly Up Sports has you covered. They are the Internet's sports bar. Visit bellyupsports.com and follow them on all social media platforms. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you soon.
Welcome to Baseball and Whatever with your hosts, Justin McAwee.
Because I was on campus and I had to appear like I was one of the cool kids, I would put the Star Wars book inside one of my textbooks so it looked like I was just studying for class.
All right, look. There's only one return, okay? And it ain't of the king, it's of the Jedi.
Greg Probst.
If you look at most Bond fans movie rankings, they have Casino Royale and Majesties in their top two. For me, these actually rank in the bottom part of my list. I mean, I love them, but they don't compare to Diamonds Are Forever.
Stop getting Bond wrong!
And Vincent Francis Jankowitz IV.
I'm a glorified fact checker.
Last I checked, the most runs in a game wins.
Actually, I am a fact checker.
What's up, guys? It's Friday if you're listening to this. It's Thursday for us as we record. This is Baseball and Whatever. It's Justin, Vinny, Greg. We are here with episode 45 of Baseball and Whatever. This week, we are going to talk baseball. Oh, boy, do we have so much to talk about the baseball lockout. I have a rant prepared, so anytime Justin wants to rant, you know it's going to be a good show. At least in my mind, it is. But we also we're doing our Slimed 5. So if you're not familiar with that, Greg is going to randomly pull Batman movies out of his hat. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see he's got his White Sox hat there ready to go. And Vinny and I
hear that over there.
Greg, are you going to be ranking? You're going to be ranking them too, right?
Oh, of course.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure. So Greg, Vinny, and I will then be taking those 5 random Batman movies and ranking them how we see fit. So that we call that the Slimed 5 because it originated on Greg's little mini show. Consider them slimed. And that's the plan for this week. So thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time, we are Baseball and Whatever. We do our sports segment for the first hour. And then the second 45 minutes is our Whatever segment where we pick a new topic every week, whether it's pop culture, video games, movies, TV shows, stuff we like, stuff that shows that we're really big nerds and 35, 34-year-olds, early 30-year-olds that don't want to grow up. Makes sense to me.
Why would you want to grow up?
I'm definitely not.
Adult sucks.
I've made it this long. I haven't. Why start now? If you would like to reach out to the show, you can do so in a variety of ways. We are on Twitter at Baseball and What. We are on Instagram at Baseball and Whatever. We are on Facebook at facebook.com/baseball and whatever. You can also find all of our stuff on YouTube. If you search Baseball and Whatever, we are available for your audio pleasure on all podcast apps and networks that you choose to listen to. And we can also be reached at email at baseballandwhatever@gmail.com or the fancy text line / voicemail line, which is 1-913-808-3278. That number again is 1-913-808-FART. All right. And if you're a regular longtime listener of the show, you know we always start off the episode by trying to figure out famous Chicago athletes or not so famous Chicago athletes that wore the number of our episode number. We are up to episode 45. So because I couldn't think of any more, I'm going to claim these two for both baseball and football. Oh, my God. Baseball. Let's try again. Baseball and basketball. Michael Jordan. And I guess Michael Jordan technically played for the Birmingham Barons. It wasn't Chicago, but it was a White Sox affiliate.
Well, he played in spring training.
That's true. He did
that exhibition game, and he wore a White Sox 45 jersey. So there you go.
So the only other one, I won't steal it from you because Greg had it.
Reference.
What's that?
Is he?
Little known fact: it's not listed on Baseball Reference.
That is a crime.
Number.
Oh, really?
Not on the official White Sox franchise.
Oh, no, it wouldn't be on the official White Sox because it wasn't an official major league game.
It wasn't like a crosstown charity game.
Yeah, I think they did do something with the Cubs.
Yeah, that's what it was.
So that is the only one. I got to admit, guys, the further this podcast goes, these numbers are going to get a lot harder.
Oh yeah,
We're
well,
gonna get a lot of if we
yeah.
make it to like episode 90, we are not gonna have anything, maybe except like a Bears player for episode 90, if that. So I think Julius Peppers was 90. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself.
There you go.
Greg, who do you got for the number 45s from Chicago?
I was gonna say if we get to like 97, down the line, and we don't have to stick. If we don't have to be Chicago players, we can name like Joe Beimel or something.
There you go.
Long-time reliever. But for 45 for the White Sox, I got some fancy names right over here. So our current guy is Garrett Crochet, left-handed fireballer. Hopefully we get some decent stuff out of him next baseball season. Big Bobby Jenks. El Caballo, Carlos Lee, the brother-in-law, much like you two to me, John Jay. Oh no, wait, he wasn't the brother-in-law. He's the best friend. Yonder Alonso was the brother-in-law to Manny Machado. John Jay was his best friend. So yeah, that guy. That's right. I got them mixed up, but try to bring in all of his close dudes to sign Machado. Didn't work. How about, speaking of San Diego, how about the other guy in the Fernando Tatis trade that went with him for big game change, Eric Johnson. Who's that other guy that pitched for him? Was like 3 years ago. Oh, this is one for the Cubs and White Sox. Derek Holland, Dutch Oven.
Oh yeah.
He probably got that name the way we think he did, don't you?
Probably, I would imagine so. Yeah,
he looks like the type of guy.
He's gonna get you one way or the other.
And then a couple 90s guys, Jeff Abbott. And, and then I think Seinfeld reference here, Danny Tartable for 1 year.
I forgot. Yeah, you're right.
6 maybe. So yeah, vaguely remember that. Those are my white. Dude, who am I missing? Wait. My man. I forgot about my man, and I wanted to say this first, but he was my finale. Dallas McPherson. Ring any bells? Longtime Angels prospect.
No.
Turned out to be a complete bum. He played like 5 games at first base for the White Sox, and I think I was at one game where he played. I'm like, oh, is that guy? Everyone thought he'd be real good, but he turns out to be shit.
Sucks
with the White Sox. Dallas McPherson, 45, baby.
Nice. It does not ring a bell at all.
You don't remember Dallas?
No.
Oh, he was in. He was like in every baseball video game around. Oh gosh, what was it? 2007 to like 2012 or something. It was like, oh, one thing he's going to make the major leagues, but he never could cut it. Then he just like pissed out with the White Sox. So like 20 games or something. So
interesting.
Good old Dallas. Now we got Dallas Keuchel. So
Vinny, you got anybody else that we're missing?
Greg, you only missed one on from my list, and that's Dixie Walker. White Sox in 1936.
What the hell is wrong with you, Greg? Come on.
I love it.
5 all-star appearances and a batting title.
Oh, wow.
I've only played like 2 seasons with the White Sox, so I mean...
Unbelievable. Okay, Dixie Walker. I like that. Dixie. Okay. Nice.
All right, Justin, you got any Cubs?
No, I don't know any. You really? I'm slacking.
Well, I mentioned Derek Holland, right?
Yes, you did mention Derek Holland.
You're gonna kick yourself for this guy. This guy was a reliever.
Wait.
Oh, and a starter. Went to the Reds.
Great reliever.
Yeah, he had good stuff.
And he went to the Reds? He went to the Reds?
I think he went to the Reds eventually.
Yes, he did.
Sean Marshall.
Yeah,
he was my guy. I liked him. He was good.
What about Terry Mulholland? Remember him?
Oh,
he was
God,
45.
yeah.
I think he was 45.
Yeah.
I think 45.
Right, yeah.
Was he? Other than that, I have nothing comes to mind really. 45.
Brandon Workman
doesn't ring a bell.
Oh, he's recent, right? Or
he was recent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Derek Holland, Sean Marshall, Will Omen.
Oh, Will Omen, lefty.
Okay,
reliever.
he was 13 for the
too,
Cubs
yeah.
too. Yeah, that was kind of his fame. So he probably wore. He played like for every team and wore every.
He
number.
wasn't very good.
He was 77 for the White Sox. So there's a White Sox at episode 77 if you remember.
Okay,
he stuck with the stupid spring training number.
77 years old.
Oh yeah, he wore his age pretty much. So.
You got Terry Mulholland, Kent Bottenfield.
Oh God, I vaguely remember him. Yeah, pitcher. He was a pitcher.
And then Paul Assenmacher played for the White Sox. So I've said
Poor bastard.
Like yeah, nice, awesome, very good.
You guys got any Bears?
No, I do, and I wasn't around for the '85. What's that?
I got 3.
Oh, you got 3?
Say,
yeah, for the '85 Bears. I mean, I don't really know anything about them except from all the old Chicago fans, but Gary Fensick.
Oh yeah, okay,
good job. And then good old Dick Gordon was before that. Nice. He played on some championship teams. I think
it's like the 5th time we said Dick so far.
I was gonna say we're batting 1,000 right now.
And then currently.
Nice transition, Vinny.
Oh yeah.
No,
that was in the spirit of Ron Coomer there.
It was, yeah.
45 for the Bears is Joel Ian. Oh boy, I had this perfect, and now I'm butchering it, like I always do on this podcast. Ie Buniwe. Ie Buniwe. He's a special teamers linebacker. I'm sure you guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then for the Bulls, I think we know at least the one famous
Denzel Valentine.
There we go. Hey, you got it right.
That's because Vinny and Greg and I were talking about it beforehand, right? All of us, yeah. So
good thing we
don't tell him that word.
Oh, I'm lifting behind the curtain. You're seeing everything, you know.
And then Michael Jordan, of course, and then for the Hawks, you got it there. I wrote down a bunch of people I didn't.
No, I can't think of any off the top of my head. No, but I'm also bad at this game. So
Brian Muir, Muir.
He was a prospect that did not pan out. Yes.
Vladimir Chebarturkin.
I believe he was a prospect that went back to Russia and did not come back to the Hawks, I believe.
Okay. This one was easier. Quentin Lang.
I believe, yes. I remember him. Early 2000s. Team wasn't very good. Neither was he.
This is great. Adam Birdie. B-E-R-D?
Yes, he was another prospect, kind of like a physical enforcer. They kept him around for like a season, then dumped him.
And then Carl Dykuis, Dykhus.
No, that one does not ring a bell at all.
Yeah, well, we got another Dick, technically.
That's
so.
technically. Man, I tell you.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for that drop of knowledge on us there, Vinny. I appreciate it. We do have one text this week in the text line. It's from longtime listener Pretzel Vince about his top 5 Beatles songs. Vinny, you want to take that one?
Sure. And he actually had this in before. Before
I noticed that. Yeah.
Never transferred it over. Sorry about that. We do check that regularly, and yeah, it was just missed because he's always texting us, and so we kind of just forget about him. But from Pretzel Vince, his top 5 Beatles songs in order. I'm guessing this is 1 to 5, so I'll go 5 to 1. Number 5, You've Got to Hide Your Love Away. Number 4, The Long and Winding Road. Number 3, Michelle. Number 2, A Day in the Life. Number 1, Yesterday. And he had some honorable mentions. Norwegian Wood. That's almost a dick, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know if I know that song.
I think you do.
Okay, I have to listen to that
Rubber
one.
Soul.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I think it's right. It's on the same album as Yesterday's Are the Best, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, all right.
While My Guitar Gently Weeps, Blackbird, Something, and Getting Better.
All right.
Have you listened to Blackbird yet, Justin?
Yes, I have. I don't think I really like it.
Oh,
I don't. I did. I also listened to that.
You're awful.
I'm gonna give it another listen. And I also did listen to While My Guitar Gently Weeps. I did like that. I have heard that song before after listening to it. So, yeah, it was Blackbird. Maybe it's an acquired taste. My palate just needs to be refined a little bit. You know,
palate's awful. I'm finding.
We need to cleanse that.
We need a cleanser, a palate cleanser. I got more Beatles homework to do, I think, in that regard. But we also have We have quite a few emails, tweets, and YouTube comments. So, Greg, take it away, man.
So Ray from Ray and Benny Talk Sports on YouTube, they say, good stuff. Great podcast. I'm assuming he's meaning all of them, right? Everything we've done.
I like to think, yes. I know it was in reference, I think, to the Beatles one we did last week, but we can say to all of them, sure.
To all of them. Cheers to all of them. Pretzel Vince on YouTube writes in, good show once again. I like the way Justin was working the song titles at the end. Well done, Justin.
Hey, I'm getting better all the time. So
Interesting fact. Eric Clapton originally did not receive any credit for playing on While My Guitar Gently Weeps. Their album liner notes only mention the Beatles. I also suggest that if anyone is interested in the Beatles to watch the documentary Get Back on Disney Plus. It is long, but well worth the time. I actually have not seen that yet.
I have not seen it either. I heard it's really good. Fun fact, and I think everybody who watches the Beatles, listens to the Beatles knew this, but I didn't. My mom was telling me, I believe it was Eric Clapton and George Harrison. If this sounds right, they were really good friends, I believe, or it was Paul McCartney.
That on the last podcast.
Okay, you did. But did you know that George Harrison and his wife, apparently he cheated on her, and then she went and hooked up with Eric Clapton, and they all still were friends because he didn't want to be with his wife anymore, and she left, and she married or dated or stayed with Eric Clapton instead. I did not know that.
Well, that doesn't happen too often.
No. So
that could usually, at least the ending part of the ending.
No, apparently they were all
ugly,
still good friends about everything. So which blew my mind. So there you go.
Hats off, George. Look at him.
All right.
Zach on Facebook writes in, I did not write in last week because I am not a Beatles fan, but I needed to hear your takes on wristbands in baseball. Yes. Yeah, I think we pretty much hated them. So.
Yeah, dumb. Boo.
I mean, I'm fine with regular wristbands, like the old Tsuyoshi Shinjo bright orange sweatbands that he wore for the Mets and Giants, but not like the electronic ones.
No. Yeah,
or the Dusty Baker large Franklin sweatbands that is absolutely no need there in the dugout.
No, I don't know how many players.
That was part of his deal. I remember with the Cubs and even the Astros.
That and the toothpick,
Yeah, the toothpick. Those fucking sweatbands.
Yeah, hey.
Okay.
Creature habit, I guess.
Greg on Facebook. Is that your Greg?
Yes, it is.
This is your other Greg?
The other Greg, yes.
DeMar DeRozan for MVP. Yeah.
Yes, I would agree.
DeMar.
I would agree.
Joan on Facebook. Top 5 Beatles songs in my life yesterday. Hey Jude, I want to hold your hand. Here comes the sun. Great list. I had a couple of those in there.
Mm-hmm.
Nice list, Joan. And lastly, we have Kevin from Belly Up Sports on Twitter. Right now, us baseball fans can use all the distractions we can get. Bring on the show. Do you mean MLB The Show?
I believe he means our podcast about Batman, I believe.
Oh, so close.
But sure, we can talk about the show, which that reminds me, if you are a video game fan and you are excited about this year's copy of MLB The Show 22, check out our podcast feed because Greg has some side businesses going on here. He is on episode 9 of Road to the Countdown to MLB The Show. Does that sound right?
I think episode 9 is coming up.
That's right.
And we kind of skipped one to do Consider Them Slime to go over the Nintendo Switch tech test. I still can't say that.
If you want to hear Greg lose his mind about Nintendo Switch and the show and San Diego studios, I highly recommend listening to that.
No, I didn't lose my mind.
No, not quite.
I will mention something later or soon that's kind of hilarious, but it was just kind of like a little bit of a tease. I know they're fixing it, but $60, come on, you got to give me something better than that. Especially if I'm playing, Pokemon on there, once every 2 months. So it's like, geez, let's go SDS. But no, they screwed up plenty again today, which we'll get into a little bit. But
sounds good.
Those are our emails, tweets, and YouTube comments. Thank you as always for writing in.
All right. Well, we are going to kick off the show now. We have our first segment, Greg's Hot Takes.
Greg's Hot Takes.
Now you want to get nuts? Come on.
Hell yeah.
All right. Want to get nuts? Come on. Let's get nuts.
All right. Well, all right. I don't know what happened there. All right. We have third week in a row. Greg is not angry at anything, but he does have some stuff he wants to bring up. So, Greg, what do you got for us?
Well, I was going to ask you something in a second, Justin, but first I got to say so, and we're going to go over this in, future or probably the next countdown to the show episode coming out where we cover the latest feature premiere on just gameplay updates that they tried to do and everything. I swear I didn't even finish it because it was so boring. But, SDS had a very, traditional start to how the proceedings went. So if you remember, these are streamed live. And right from the get-go, there's a countdown, starting from 5 minutes or whatever. It hits 0, and then you hear Ramon on the screen start to blab away. And then all of a sudden go, everything just shuts down. And I'm not really a live chat guy on YouTube because that environment is
that's
toxic.
a cesspool,
a lot of bad dudes. And I mean, myself included, the stuff I say is pretty nasty. But I will say collectively, MLB The Show community, all 564 of you in that live chat, well done to you sending out the emojis, the funny messages about SDS, just completely botching a very important live stream, probably the most important one they'll do because the gameplay updates are the core of the game. That is the part of the game that does have the most issues other than the servers being complete shit on the first week of release. So I think the sign that they cannot produce a correct live stream or even have it go smoothly is very telling. I can tell a lot of meatball fans and show players out there were like, my pre-order, so glad I pre-ordered the game. So and then when it did finally come on, a second version of the video started to play with a 4-second delay. So there was audio overlap. So then the chat erupted again. This is after 15 minutes after they got it fixed.
Oh,
so once they did have it going, this is like 15 minutes later, not a joke. And they finally get the live stream going. It starts to get sputtery again, but they fix that. And then they just start going over these BS stats from 2021 and how
no one wants to hear that.
How perfect hitting response, how that data translated to hits, and outs and stuff like that. I was like, who gives a shit? Show gameplay of the game. Who are the legends? Who's this? Show the stuff on the field. Now your BS stats. So I was like, you know what? I'm turning it off. I'm going to pick up Wendy's. That's what I had for dinner. So that was that with that live stream. So consider you slimed again, MLB The Show and SDS. But on the subject of video games, Justin, I know you are a fan of this one. Gran Turismo 7 releases tomorrow, and I am hearing it is like the PS5 exclusive. Though this is the one. This is the top one they've done for years. So what's the store? Are we picking it up tomorrow?
That reminds me, I need to, after the show, run upstairs and get the Target gift cards I still have, and probably I'll just pre-order because I don't feel like. Well, I guess I could go into the store, pick up, and do that too. But we'll see. But yeah,
it comes out tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
so you gotta do.
So I'll definitely pick that up, and
soon.
I really shouldn't, but I also have a couple gift cards to Amazon. I really want to buy Elden Ring because that's gotten like 10s across the board as well.
Yes, it has.
And I still have like 4 or 5 games I haven't beat yet too. So I'm turning into Greg. I have a backlog of games. And Erica's working all this weekend, so I will be on dad duty, and I will not be playing any games. That's why it's like, should I even bother going to Target and picking it up and not just ordering it? Because I'm not going to get time to play it any time this weekend. And Greg, I don't know if you ever have this problem, but like Maddie will go to bed. It's just me. Erica's gone to bed because she has work. I was like, I should really turn on my video game and my PlayStation and play it. And I'm like, but I'm too tired. And she's going to get up at 5:30 in the morning.
Never happens.
What's happening to me, Greg?
You are becoming a dad, and you are living the rest of your life, or at least up to this point right now. My kids are 5 and 3, and I'm still at that right now. So what does happen is like, yes, I'm thinking right now, okay, we finished recording. I go upstairs, gonna pop on, Call of Duty from, that you sold to Greg.
I sold to you, yeah.
Or I picked up, Rainbow Six.
Siege.
Or is that what Siege. Thank you very much. I got MLB The Show 21 upstairs, which I'm still doing stuff to. None of that will be played. So what will happen is I'll probably pop on Diamonds Are Forever, fat Sean Connery, and like fall asleep. That is what really happens. So
Fair enough. Also, I believe I saw there's a demo on Nintendo Switch for the new Kirby game, which I know you're excited about. So check that out too.
I have to check that. I did not
There
know
you go.
about that. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, that wraps up for Greg's hot take segment. We are going to go to one of the most depressing and disastrous things. Well, unfortunately, there's a lot of disastrous things going on in the world right now. On a lower note, though, the one that is the most disastrous for baseball fans, and that is our baseball talk.
Baseball.
Welcome back to Major League Baseball. Sort of.
Taking a look at Chicago's two favorite teams and other happenings around the MLB.
Or not. Don't play ball. There's no ball playing. All right. I told these guys I have a huge rant that I have illfully prepared. But I think it's time we announce that right now, this is the death of baseball. Vinny, would you agree this? Bring out Janet! This is the death of baseball. If they don't get their act together, we're going to have some problems. All right. Okay, here. So let's just go. First of all, let's go for a recap of the events that took place this week. The owners imposed the lockout back in December, I believe. The owners waited 40 days plus to make their first offer to the union. Okay. Then they set up the arbitrary deadline day to save opening day, which was the 28th of February. I believe we talked about it last week or the week before. Then they gave the impression on Sunday night that a deal was closed. They actually leaked that story to morons that are writers and love the owners, such as John Heyman and Bob Nightingale. I can't stand either one of them.
Yeah,
all right. So then on Twitter, all these fans are like, oh my gosh, the owners and players are close. Heyman and Nightingale, oh, we're going to have a deal by tomorrow. The deadline, we're going to be saved. Okay. That's my if Bob Nightingale and John Heyman had a baby.
It's like they're in the room.
I know. Right? I can't tell which one is which. All right. Then after that, the owners say that the Players Association's tone has changed, and they tried to pin all this on the owners via public perception to save opening day. So even though they leaked this fake story, they did this in an effort to try and damage the Players Association's credibility. Then it leaks out that the owners negotiated a 14-team playoff with an ESPN, and they had a deal in place, yet there wasn't even a 14-team playoff in their current CBA. They were only at a 12-team playoff. So that whole negotiating in good faith is complete bullshit because the owners went and did all this behind the players' back. And the players weren't going to see any of that money because they weren't going to it was going to take a while for it to come out. Then the drop dead deadline date, is that an oxymoron? I don't know. That passed on Monday. They gave the Players Association their best and final offer, which was a complete joke. I think it was a freeze of pay for 3 years, if I'm not mistaken, where the Players Association wanted to rise, or maybe that was the CBT that was going to rise. I can't remember, to be honest, but that's where we're at currently. So I'm going to be honest. I'm taking the players' side on this. I know the players make good money. I would love to make $1 million. I think that's the average salary for an MLB player. I think the minimum is 560. Does that sound right?
It is what it was.
I would love to make that too. So I don't disparage anybody who says, you know what, these guys need to just play and shut up. They're making good money. Yes, that's true. They do make good money. However, the reason I'm taking the player side on this one, these fans, listening to sports radio this week was a nightmare with all the people calling in. I can do their job, but they're not so special. That sounded kind of Canadian. I don't know where that came from. Sorry, boys.
Well, there are Canadian baseball fans too, and the Canadian baseball team.
But, I do my job every day. I don't get no raises. These stinking players, they make so much money. What the hell? Okay.
Oh my God, that got more Canadian.
It was supposed to be a Chicago accent, but
I was going to say,
I don't know what that was.
You listening to?
Right,
that was Ogie Oglethorpe.
Yes, right, it was. You go to the box, you feel shame. All right. Here's the thing, though, with that sentiment. I get it. You're pissed you don't make that money. I'm pissed I don't make that money. And I will never in my entire career as whatever I do in my life, I will never make six figures. I'm willing to wager money on that. Unlike our jobs, We are workers. We do a task and we're paid for it. That's it. The players are the products that the owners make their money off of. If you don't have the players, you have no products. The owners make no money. So their job is not the same as ours. All right. No one is going to work because, oh my gosh, Justin's there and we got to see what Justin does today. No one gives a shit what I do as long as I do my job to the best of my ability. The player's sole purpose is to make money for the owners and entertain and be the product, right? The other thing is, and this I feel like is my biggest argument, is all these guys saying they should go do something else then. Great. However, MLB has a monopoly on Major League Baseball in the States. There is no other league to go play in unless you want to leave the country. And if you want to go find a competitive job, you shouldn't have to leave the country to find a competitive job. All three of us right now, if we don't like our job, we can leave and go find something else that is relevant to what we already do and be competitive in terms of salary and benefits and all that kind of stuff. These guys have nowhere else they can go. So they have to bargain for these extra perks and extra deals because there's nowhere else they're going to go to get those things, right? They can't quit. They can't go get another job unless they want to go overseas and play in Korea or Japan or is there any other leagues? I don't even Mexico, the California Penal League. I don't know, any of those, right? So it boggles my mind. I don't understand why so many people want to side with the billionaires who are clearly just exploiting their product and trying to be as behind the back, stab you in the back, would turn on their family in order just to make another quick buck. I would argue they have no problem blowing a month of the season because they don't make a lot of money at the gate during April anyway, because half the cities in the country, they're getting snowed out like we saw a couple of years ago, or it's too cold or it's rainy or it's shitty weather. So I really don't see this thing coming back until at least May. And I want baseball back. Don't get me wrong, but I kind of hope the players dig in and say, you know what, screw you guys. No, we'll take this down as long as we got to, just to send a point. I know the Players Association was doing, they had signed something where they were going to release $15,000 to each union member to kind of hold them over for each month, which is great for the younger players who don't have any money. Max Scherzer does not need $15,000 a month. The older players should waive that so that they can give more to the younger players. That's never going to happen, but that's just my thoughts on that. So that's my take. Screw the owners. I hope the players take them for all they're worth and prove to them that they are needed more. I do not care what the owners do with the game. I'm there to watch the players. So that's my take. I'm probably vehemently wrong. You guys can tell me so if you think so, but somebody else take it away.
Well, you're not wrong.
Angry.
You are angry, and you don't necessarily have to take a side.
No, that's true.
I mean, I think the players are more. The easier thing is to do the side with the players. I think they are. I don't want to say if in the right is the right term,
yeah,
but I mean, what is really shown is just the evil doings of ownership, and it sucks now because this has been going on for forever, and it's finally now that everyone's starting to pay attention to it. So I don't know how much people. I don't really listen to much of sports radio, so I get the meatball arguments too. I mean, they're so annoying and everything, but I don't know how well informed these people really are or whatever.
They're from Canada, apparently. I don't know if they're actually taking sides on it either. They're just pissed that baseball's not there. And I'm not. I mean, I traditionally side with the players, but I don't want to say I'm neutral, but I'm just more in the line is like, I understand what's going on, but I'm also having a hard time feeling bad for anybody. Because like you said, Justin, when some of these when we're really arguing money over here, and a lot of the, according to what's being reported, the CBT is still the biggest part of this negotiation, which is so, I mean, to me, that just says, a lot of the bullshit small market, like your Oakland A's out there, your Tampa just Bay, your Oakland
sticking together, just like we don't want to spend. We rag on the Yankees, we rag on the Dodgers,
but at least
because they fucking suck. But they spend. They're like, hey, we want to play. We give a fuck what we spend. It's like, and if the CBT raise, it's like we don't have to pay penalties anymore. So, but they're probably being outvoted. So, to your point, Justin. So if the players do band together and this sticks out. I think there's probably more division in the ownership side.
I think you might be right
than the players, because the players, at least what's being reported, is that they're pretty, or they seem to be pretty
stronger
unified.
than ever. Yeah,
Mike Trout, weatherman, spoke out the other day. You never hear shit from me. He's the best player. Yeah, best player in baseball. No one knows what the hell he is.
Manfred's so upset that he doesn't, advertise too much. So now he's talking out about.
Now he's advertising. Yeah, exactly. There you go, Rob. So. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if the owners will cave or will collapse. Rob Manfred can't get them to agree on anything anyway, so he's not even doing his part. But I don't know. You know what? And so for me again, we don't have baseball. It sucks, but for some reason it's starting to suck less. I don't know what kind of reaction I'm having to this. But I'm just like, you know what? Yeah, let them be dickheads, because right now it's worse because there's so much more now that he's the first 2 series have been canceled.
Yeah.
And they haven't been postponed, they've been canceled. So that's been made. So now we have the issue of full season pay or something like that. You got to play. There's like a handful of other things that will have to be agreed upon, including the BS they were working on, sending BS proposals. So now it's just getting messier. So it's probably gonna. I mean, it's gonna
get worse before it gets better.
Exactly. So,
Vinny, what about you? What's now that it's official and it's not looking good? What's your stance on everything?
Yeah, I don't know where they go from here. If that was their best and final offer, what else are they going to do?
Yeah.
Greg, I'm kind of with you. I'm definitely for the players. I think they should try to get everything that they're going to get. Although I think they're not going to get
they want.
I don't think so. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. Feel sorry for them.
Yeah. No.
But I really want them to get what they want. For the fans that say, oh, well, it's them getting more salary, more money is just going to mean my ticket prices are going up. They're going up regardless. If
it doesn't matter. Yeah,
the owners are going to pocket the money and they're going to raise rates on you. They have been for since 2011. I think the ticket prices have increased like 27% or something like that. And player salaries have actually, the average has gone down. And if you look at the average, I think decreased something like 4.79% between 2019 and 2021. And that's only looking at the average. That's not looking at the median, which is, I think average was like around 4 million. And now the median is like 1 million. Mm-hmm. So that's really bad and pathetic. It's very top heavy in the league. So yeah, I'm with the players. I hope they get what they want. I'm definitely not sad. I saw something that said that I think Andrew Miller came out and said that the players they're ready to go for the long haul in this hold out here and try to get something done. And I saw something heard something that that the owners start losing money from their TV contracts in May. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be, you're going to see them call their bluff, I guess the players will, and see if they can hold out till May. So it might be past May 1st. It's done. Depending if the players can call the owner's bluff and, they can end the standoff. But I don't know if the players can hold out that long.
That'd be tough.
We'll see. Everything that was reported, I was awake during that night, that all the tweeting was going out by Bob Nightingale and everybody was cheering Bob on. We all thought this was a great redemption tour for Bob Nightingale, the biggest boob in the industry for MLB. And it turns out, no, he's still just a boob.
Yep.
What he said was wrong. He made it sound like within the next hour, it was
done.
It was going to be done. They were going to have something done by breakfast time. And sure enough, I get on my phone, nothing's done. And then they were never close. It was not even close at all. They were far apart on everything. And it was just like, yep, classic Bob. Okay. We'll all take our roses back. We're not going to give you any of that anymore, Bob. You're still boob to us.
He was planning the parade. I mean, he was all set.
Yeah, and one of the ridiculous things is the salaries that they were giving. They were raising the owners made it look good. They were raising the minimum wage to, I think, what was it, 700,000?
700. Yep.
Yeah.
But the yearly increases to that were only $10,000. $10,000. You kidding me? That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
The negotiating thing, this is gonna get ugly. Thank God we have minor league baseball if you're really into baseball to watch that. But yeah, I'm Greg, I was with you. Like when they canceled it, I was just like, okay,
whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll just change our show to whatever and just leave it
like in all honesty, I don't feel like I'm listening to a lot of, jerks and stuff on podcasts or whatever else. And they're like,
you're listening to our podcast?
No, on other podcasts.
Oh, okay.
Well,
good. All right.
Yeah, well, us too. Especially if you want the biggest boob show there is, listen to Countdown to MLB The Show. And find the biggest boob on that podcast. But I mean, yeah, you put things in perspective, what's going around the world. Yes, there are bigger problems, but then there's just these people that drive me nuts. They're like, oh, baseball's gone. I'm just so sad. I don't know what to do with myself. And I'm a huge baseball fan. Baseball is my favorite sport in the whole world. And I don't know if it's just because I'm overly damaged because of all this shit, but when he announced there was no deal in place, after the deadline, which is not surprising whatsoever. So it's not like this big spoiler or anything. And then he announced the cancellation of games. I'm like, okay. All I could do was the first thing that came to my mind was the Newman gif laughing in his chair. I'm like, that was it. Like all I could think. I'm like, all right, you do your thing or whatever. So.
Greg, to those people, all I can say that are crying over baseball.
Are you crying? There's no crying. There's no crying in baseball.
Yes,
it's perfect.
I don't get that. Like, why are you should have seen this coming.
It was coming.
Yeah.
The way they were negotiating to try to get games, that was ridiculous. And if you were blind to that, that's shame on you. Like, why are you that upset that you were that blind that you didn't see that this was going to happen?
I mean, this was in the works.
That we didn't think that they were going to come to a deal, that we thought they were going to miss the deadline of early December 1st or 2nd or something.
First of all, I don't know why they waited 40 days to negotiate. The owners could have started this before Christmas. The other thing is to the people who were shocked by all these developments, we knew this was coming before the pandemic. I mean, what year was it when there was no free agent signings because nobody wanted to pay the money of the bigger contracts?
Yeah, was that like 2019?
Yeah,
2019.
It was right before the pandemic, right? So we knew this was coming. So to not cry wolf, but to say, oh, I can't believe this isn't working. You could tell the animosity. It was like and then Manfred came in and the animosity just spiked. I mean,
oh yeah, they really hate
and they really hate him. And so seeing some of the players, vocalize how upset they were when he went out for his press conference after the last meeting, and then he's laughing about something, even if it had nothing to do with baseball. Dude, that's not a good look. Like, you're supposed to be the commissioner. You should not good, Bob.
Alone, yeah.
Like, you should at least look. You don't have to, be visibly upset, but don't come out laughing and all cheerful. Like, you just shut down the first 2 weeks of the season, or first two series, I should say.
In charge of, buddy.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Here's a question for you: is Rob Manfred going to be a Hall of Famer? Every Major League Baseball commissioner has been in the Hall of Fame. Is he?
I'm sure he'll get voted in because people got to stroke his ego.
Season.
What's that?
Bud
Selig's in, yeah.
Yeah. Bud's in, yeah.
Maybe, it depends on, how his time after this goes.
Well, that's what it's going to be, yeah.
I would gladly take Bud Selig over Manfred any day. Yeah, it's insane. So we'll see. We'll continue to update since we are primarily a baseball podcast. We'll keep that going. Yeah, find a minor league baseball team. I threw out a bunch of teams and tagged them all on Twitter, and only one got back to me. So I'm like, all right, Myrtle Beach Pelicans, I am a fan of your team now. So let's do this thing. So
flying out back to the Carolinas, Justin.
It's very easy to get me on board. Just acknowledge me when I tweet.
You can hit up the Pelicans, get the Charlotte Knights out there.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I do
go watch the Boomers.
I do follow the Pelicans on Twitter, and last season they introduced their bat dog that would go up and pick up the bats and stuff, and he was adorable. So I'm like, all right, I can get behind this. So
there you go.
The only other baseball story, and Greg and I were talking about it briefly before the show started. Derek Jeter leaves the Marlins. He's out on his own accord. He wasn't pushed out as far as we know. He just chose to leave. And I guess my question for you guys is he a genius or is he a con man? And did he kind of dupe the Marlins ownership? Because we had a little tiff between Justin Turner of the Dodgers and Dan Le Batard, formerly of ESPN. Dan Le Batard has a huge connection with Miami. He still lives there, still does a couple of his shows from there. And he, really dialed in. So Justin Turner tweeted, "My sources, common sense, and reading in between the lines tell me that one of our game's greatest champions, Derek Jeter, is stepping away from a team with one of the best young pitching staffs in the game because ownership isn't committed to winning and spending the money to try and win. Derek Jeter is a winner, and if you ask him to lose, he's going to step away. Thanks for your continued leadership and everything you've done for our game, DJ." Blech. So a couple things there. First of all, Derek Jeter left on his own. It was considered a friendly disembarkment. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a word on the fly here of him leaving. It wasn't, tenuous or anything like that. But he said he was leaving because ownership's priorities had changed. So maybe that's the case, and maybe that's why. However, Dan Le Batard went on a little bit of a tirade saying that Derek Jeter never put any of his own money into the team to be a part of the ownership group. He was kind of glomming on from other people. He also made a ton of money as CEO of the Marlins, and Le Batard was considering him kind of a con man and a fraud for what he did to the Marlins, which, I don't know, can you really screw up the Marlins any more than they already are? I mean,
yeah, he traded away.
He did trade away Yelich, right?
Yeah, Yelich too. Yeah,
Yelich,
and then
Stanton,
Real Muto.
Yes, he did. You're right. Yes, the Phillies. Yeah.
What's the scumbag that played for the Braves too?
Duval.
And the Cardinals? No.
Not Ozuna.
No. Yeah, Ozuna.
Ozuna.
Yeah, Ozuna. Marcell Ozuna. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
Trade his ass.
So I don't know. I'll be curious. Derek Jeter as a player, I enjoyed him. Derek Jeter as a person seems kind of like a
bad shortstop.
Wow, the metrics bear that out. Yes,
a con man. I was just gonna say he is a con man. He conned everybody into thinking
he was a good defensive shortstop.
And he's garbage. Now he's conning the Marlins out of money. He just took his experience in the MLB and just applied it to later in life. So yes, he conned them.
He's like, hey, you remember that famous play I did against the A's in the playoffs? Give me money, and that's pretty much I feel like what he does.
Take this with a grain of salt too, but Nightingale reported that the Marlins, pre-lockout and pre-negotiations and everything, that they were in serious talks with bringing in Nick Castellanos. I mean, the deal didn't get done, obviously, because there was still the issue of DH happening too, but and that wasn't official yet. And the Marlins did make moves this offseason, not, big moves, but definitely upgrades with Avi Garcia, Jacob Stallings, and they got Joey Wendell from the Rays.
Mm-hmm.
So if it is stepping away because they're not spending money or trying to win, I don't get that side of it, because they are making, I mean, they're not big moves, but I mean, there was still plenty of offseason left. I mean, there was supposed to be. So, and if he was indeed having, I mean, that's a big free agent they would have brought in to solidify the outfield and potentially DH. So I don't really get that. And then Nightingale went on to say, though, I heard this on a podcast he was on with Chuck Garfien, that now that Derek Jeter has left, that those talks would not be happening anymore. I mean, when they would continue. So I don't know exactly what that means. That could all be horseshit, because that's almost saying two different things. But I don't really know what to think of that, because they were trying. I mean, remember, this is a playoff team, like a year ago.
Well, they're more than a playoff team if there's a 14-team playoff.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know, because some of the moves that, and they paid some decent. They probably overpaid for Avisail Garcia.
Yeah.
For his word, but they spent a little bit of dough. So I don't know.
All right. Well, stay tuned for more baseball talk. We will update you as things pop up accordingly.
Question before we move on.
Yes.
Yeah.
If the 14-team playoff, 14-team playoff was instituted last year, did the Cubs sell off at the deadline? Justin?
Yes.
Open up those wounds. Do you think they still sell?
Yes.
You think they still?
How much more can I bleed for this team? Yeah, I don't know. No, they would definitely sell. Well, and I'm glad you brought that up really quick, Vinny. Is this whole 14 team thing? The whole thing I think about baseball is 162 games only. Well, up until a couple of years ago, only 4 teams in each conference, each league get in the playoffs, and the regular season. That's why we play 162. Every single game matters. You can't make the playoffs in the beginning of the season, but you can definitely lose your playoff chances. If we're taking 14 teams, can we please, for the love of God, shorten the baseball season? Then there's no reason to play 162 games. Make it like 140. There's no reason.
We're getting close.
They're going to get there one way or the other, Greg. Yeah. So it kind of devalues the playoffs now. Like Vinny just said, if the Cubs are close, would I be more interested and excited? Yes, but I don't know. I mean, heck, before 95, 96, when they instituted the wild card, you only had 3 teams from each division, each league making the playoffs, and one had a bye, right? So I don't know. Going from 4 and then the 2 wild card to 14 just seems like such a huge jump. I could settle on 8. Can we go with 8 maybe? I don't know. But I mean, then you look at other leagues. Look at NFL expanded their playoffs. The NBA has the 2 extra, the 9th and 10th seed get to play in a little play-in game to see if they can make it and bump the 7 and 8 seed. The NHL redid the way that they do their standings and stuff a couple years ago, which it sucks. I wish they would get rid of that. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know.
This is one of the things on the players' side of those expanded, or the final agreement of those expanded playoffs, because they still can say no to it. So we'll see where that goes.
And I mean,
Cubbies would have made the playoffs last year.
They still would have sold off. Though.
Hold on to those guys. Go for one last hurrah, and then
if they bring back Rizzo, I'm going to be pissed.
In the first round.
Yeah. Oh, they got swept by the Marlins the year before. I mean,
yeah, that's right. Playoff Marlins.
The playoff Marlins. Yes. Where's that asterisk? We need to add that to that last season, 2 seasons ago. All right. We're going to skip our football segment because really we don't have any football talk this week. So let's go. I have a very quick, very, very quick hockey segment. Let's go to our hockey segment then.
Used puck bags.
Hey, shut up! You guys stink. I thought we came here to play hockey.
I knew we forgot something.
Diving in on what's happening with the Chicago Blackhawks.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. The Hawks suck.
Playing right now, aren't there? As a game.
They are playing right now. They're playing against Edmonton. I believe it was Duncan Keith appreciation night, even though he's a train wreck of a season in Edmonton. Let's see. How are they doing? I'm guessing they're losing. The score currently is 3-2. They're winning with 5 minutes left in the third. Wow.
Hey.
I know. So I mean, really the only updates I have, Taves is back. I believe Riley Stillman is back. Taves is a shell of his former self, so does it really matter? I don't know. There was some talk about Marc-Andre Fleury being a good trade piece. People on Twitter were chastising the new GM, Kyle Davidson, about, if you don't trade him, you don't know what the hell you're doing, which I would agree they should trade him. However, it's not his fault if they don't, because Marc-Andre Fleury has a no movement clause and was promised by the previous regime that has now been ousted that they would not move him at all if he wanted to stay in Chicago. And he's leaning towards staying in Chicago. I don't know why. The team is garbage and he's getting older. I mean, I like the city, so maybe he likes the city. I don't know.
Vacation.
Yeah, maybe it's a vacation. There's no expectations. He can just go out, play. If he gives up 5 goals or 1, it's fine. He's getting paid either way, right? But the only big news is that the Hawks took the interim GM tag off their GM, Kyle Davidson. If you don't remember, Kyle Davidson was the assistant GM when good old Stan Bowman was the GM. Oh God, I'm so glad he's gone. But when he was allowed to resign instead of being fired, which that's a whole nother story, Davidson was given the interim GM tag. The Hawks did this huge, far-reaching survey of GM candidates by bringing in Patrick Sharp and Marian Hossa and Eddie Olchuk to find the right GM. And apparently the right GM was there all along because now he's the current GM. He's only 33. He's a young guy. They also, in the final interviews, was the assistant GM of the Cubs. Was for the GM, which doesn't make it. Okay, sure. But yeah, so really, David said, I have to acknowledge where the team is today. It's clear we need to be better. I intend to rebuild both on and off the ice. We need to be both honest with ourselves and our fan base and the team that will continue to review how we operate and how we make crucial decisions in the future. I'm kind of surprised Rocky Wirtz was at this press conference, though, because they were talking about a guy that works for the team. And technically, they're not supposed to tell the media what they do if you don't work for the team. So, God, he's such a tool. But that's it. That's all I got. I mean, they suck. I'm selfishly... What's that, Vinny?
Weren't they going to remove the intern tag off the head coach too?
There was talk about that. Yes, there was talk about that. He's had a really up and down season as coach. I don't know how much of it is him and how much is it that the Cubs just suck. Cubs suck too. How much the Hawks
Freudian
suck.
slip right there, but not really.
Yes. If they do, I'll give them a season to see how it goes. But selfishly, trade deadlines, I believe, at the end of March. I love what Taves and Kane have done. They brought us 3 cups, but I think it's time to move on. Taves has got nothing left in the tank. Kane, you still could get something decent. So I know I've been beating this horse for a couple of weeks now. If you get a good deal for either one of them, you get some prospects or some good picks, take them and run. I hate to say it, but I think that whole saga has ended, and otherwise, next year they're going to play and you're not going to get anything for him because Taves will be even less productive than he is this year. So that's all I got. You guys got any other Hawks questions or Hawks stuff for me?
I think Pretzel Vince is upstairs right now at my house watching the Blackhawks. So shout out Pretzel Vince.
There you go. All right. Well, let's move on to something that's more exciting to talk about, and that is the NBA and Chicago Bulls.
He's on fire!
We own defense. Whoa! I don't play defense.
Boom shakalaka!
All right, you're gonna have to listen to Mike on this, guys. Okay. Listen up.
Charles Barkley. It's a wannabe who looks like him.
All right, God, I love NBA Jam. All right, unfortunately, earlier this week, DeMar DeRozan's streak of 35 plus points per game and a 60% shooting percentage ended. They looked horrible. I don't know if you guys got a chance to watch that game against the Miami Heat. The Bulls got spanked, and that's going to be somebody they're going to see in the playoffs if they want to make a run. So I'm hoping that they can kind of revamp and get some new tape out there for other teams to see. Otherwise, teams are going to start to try and play them like Miami did, and that'll be a problem, to say the least.
I will say I was watching. I didn't catch much of the Bulls Heat game, but I did watch the Bulls Grizzlies game on Saturday. It's when Ja Morant broke his single game.
Oh my God!
That guy. That's another that could be another second round or second pick overall was the winning pick. I know Zion's been hurt and everything.
Zion can't stay healthy, so I think the Grizzlies they got lucky with him because man, that guy just to watch him, he is good.
He's a stud, but the Bulls there in the fourth quarter kind of slowed him down a little bit, and they had like 14 unanswered points going out or mounting a comeback, but I think they eventually lost. What was it, 116 to 110 or something like that? Well, so it was close, but an exciting end of the game. But they were able to slow Ja Morant down, but then he just picked it up again, and I think DeMar DeRozan ended up getting it tossed within the last 20 seconds because of another technical.
Technical. Yeah, I mean,
but
the other, like even today, I was watching the Bulls were playing the Hawks today, and the Hawks are a decent team, but I was watching them, and I was going to take a little nap before we did the podcast tonight. And when I woke up, when I was falling asleep, they were up by 10. I woke up and they lost 130 to 124. So the one stat that worries me, but I guess you got to take into account too, they don't have their full roster back yet. Lonzo Ball and Alec Caruso are still hurt. The Bulls, as of earlier this week, the Bulls were 2-9 against teams currently in the top 6 in the Eastern Conference and 4-6 against teams currently in the top 6 of the Western Conference, which comes to about 6-15 against playoff teams all throughout the league, which is a little worrisome, little nerve-wracking. So
that's a little White Sox for me right there. You know, good beating up on the bad teams, struggling against the teams we'll see in the playoffs. So
so we'll see. I mean, I'm gonna fly that Bulls banner and hope that they keep playing well, because I think really until the spring, at least well into the spring, that might be all we got to watch sports.
I would say I am, especially with the absence of baseball, I am just finding myself if I have, if it's like a later game, just tuning into any NBA when it's on. and I'm kind of slowly
getting back into it.
It's kind of it has to be a result of lack of baseball, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think the NBA is going to be the biggest benefactor of
we
this
got
whole
going
thing
right now. Yes, they're loving it right now.
Yeah, Adam Silver's don't come back. You're fine.
That's Silver went from worst to first right now. So
well, when the competition is Gary Bettman in the NHL,
you're there's only you what to do but shine, but as best you can. But
so yeah. All right. Well, that does it for our sports talk. I'm going to hand the keys to the car over to Greg, and we are going to kick off our whatever segment for this week.
Now it's time for whatever.
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 Whatever. Whatever you want. Whatever I want.
Whatever, dude. Irrelevant. Whatever, dude.
All right. Vinny, Greg, take it away.
Vinny can take it away too if he like.
I'm okay.
But welcome to whatever. Baseball and whatever. And this is Slimed 5. We are back doing a random draw of 5 live action Batman movies, the ones we all enjoy. I will say tomorrow I am going to see The Batman at 11 o'clock in IMAX, so I'm very much looking forward to that. I could not help myself. I was on the fence. I'm like, should I do it? Should I do it? Should I do it? Screw it. I did it. So going by myself, me oh my, just me and my big bucket of popcorn that I'll absolutely demolish, and probably sneak in a couple of cheeseburgers from McDonald's, Phil Dunphy style. But there we go. But so in honor of The Batman being released into critical acclaim so far, we decided we will rank some of the previous Batman movies. I put 9 in the World Series hat right
Oh, geez. I didn't even know there was 9 Batman movies. Actually, no, I take that back.
Say, how many of these have I actually seen? No, I'm sure I've seen most of them.
You've seen most of them. Well, I left a few out. So
through Christian Bale, or
what's that?
Is it Keaton through Christian Bale?
Oh, there goes a little bit beyond that, Vinny. So we'll see. Hopefully, we don't get
Batman,
it done
Superman?
there. Oh, yeah, because I know.
Is the Snyder cut in there?
I could make a judgment call on that one.
Okay, I'm sure you could. That's why I'm like, because you and I are not caught up as far as Justin is on the DCEU. Unfortunately, Vinny,
you guys are missing out.
We'll do our best, but it'll be up to the hat. And I will pick out 5 random movies, and we are going to have some fun here on Batman Week. So you guys ready to get this started?
Oh,
are your pens and paper ready?
I am.
Write these down. All right.
I'm Batman. I'm ready.
I will say too that I had these nicely typed out earlier and cut out very nicely, and then I left it at work, so I hand wrote everything. But we like handwritten stuff.
Yeah.
Are you crying?
No crying in baseball, goddamn.
There's no crying in Batman either.
No crying in Batman. I don't know, Batman. Christian Bale cried a couple times in the movies, didn't he?
Where is he?
That's just anger. I don't think that's crying.
Anger. Was he crying? I thought he was crying sometimes. I don't know.
Maybe when Katie Holmes gets Maggie Gyllenhaal. Maggie Gyllenhaal gets blown up.
They play Rachel Dawes.
Yeah, same character. Yeah. Didn't
underrated from the Nolan trilogy. Cillian Murphy is a Scarecrow.
Oh, he's so good.
Great actor.
So
great
good.
Character.
I love that they kept bringing him back too.
What'd you say, Vinny?
Next James Bond?
Ooh, I don't know. I would like him in a James Bond movie. He's still a little too. That's the problem with
he's a tiny
James
guy.
Bond. That's the problem with James Bond, because like if you get someone I know, that's all I'm gonna see. Like when the Bond fans are out there, it's like, oh, we love Tom Holland. He should be the next James Bond. I think Tom Holland's fantastic. If I go to a Bond movie, the guy shooting the gun barrel, I'm like, oh, it's Loki, So it's like, it's just not going to work. But anyway, this is about Batman. And you guys ready to draw?
Ready to go.
Here we go. Cue the music, Justin.
Cued.
Eyes closed. I'll show it right to the camera.
All right, here we go. Number 1.
Oh, no.
Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. God, that movie. Okay. Oh, man. Can we get a do-over?
Mulligan.
Oh, don't pretend you don't like that movie, Justin. I remember what you said about it.
We'll get to that. We'll get to
Iron Man, right? All the Iron Man combined.
All right, number 2. What do we got here, Greg? Batman and Robin. Oh, God.
Gosh.
Spoiler, I just put all the bad ones.
I was going to say. This is like doing the worst Christmas song episode all over again. All right. Okay, now I need clarification. Is that the Snyder cut or the not Snyder cut? This is Justice League, by the way, for those listening.
I don't know.
This is going great.
Either of them.
All right, let's go Snyder cut because that one's actually good. All right.
Oh, no.
All right, Snyder cut Justice League. Love it.
Well, we
literally have probably the 3 worst Batman movies on this. The Dark Knight Rises. Oh. Interesting. Okay.
And he's like, yes, what I've seen.
I know. I saw Batman and Robin.
Yeah, I know.
We're all going to have the same list.
Is Batman and Robin going to make some top 3s here? We'll see.
Oh, God, no. What the hell is wrong with you two if that happens? Okay. All right. That's good.
Batman Begins.
Batman Begins. All right.
Okay, so just to review, we have drawn, or I have drawn, this is all my fault, I guess. Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, Batman and Robin, Justice League, The Dark Knight Rises, and Batman Begins.
Okay.
You guys agree?
We're good to go.
All right. Whoever finishes their rankings first, just kick it off.
All right.
Okay, I'll start.
Oh, wow.
I think it's going to be Vinny.
All right. I'm good to go too. All right. That was incredibly easy to do.
Yes, number 5 for me is Justice League.
No, what is wrong with you?
That movie, I haven't seen that movie. It looks awful.
The Snyder cut is good. Vinny, come on.
I'm sorry. It looks terrible. The fact that Greg couldn't finish the movie, like that.
Oh, wait a minute. He couldn't finish it because he didn't want to finish it or because he didn't have time?
Both. I'm working on it though. I'm working on it for the podcast for the anniversary.
The 1-year anniversary.
Spoiler, Vinny, you will have to watch this for the anniversary episode.
Oh,
so you know,
I will watch it happily.
How long is it?
It's like 4 hours.
4 hours?
Yeah. Who's got time to watch a 4-hour movie?
You watch an hour a night. You'll be fine.
I'm sorry. But I don't have an hour. I don't have 4 hours to watch a movie with Superman in it. Who cares about Superman?
A half an hour a night for 8 nights.
No, I don't have time. I work at night. Superman's awful anyway. So that is number 5. It looks like a terrible movie. It got panned too, I believe, right?
Not the Snyder cut.
The Snyder cut didn't. No,
the Snyder cut was praised.
Wait, but the original one that went to theater.
Okay, well that doesn't matter.
Cut,
that's besides the point.
Then they had to scramble and like, oh, we got to make something better because this was terrible and we spent a lot of money on it. So let's release all the film that we took and try to make a better movie out of it.
And they were successful.
No, I think everybody was just like, yeah, we'll just say it's better because we don't want to put on 8-hour movie.
Not gonna lie, we all have HBO Max. I still almost bought the Blu-ray of the Snyder cut just to have because I'm like,
well, that's a collectible
someday.
That's a collectible.
It's a collector's
physical
item.
media.
Don't open it. Just leave it on your shelf.
Yeah.
Like
I got plenty of stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true. All right. You guys want me to do my number 5?
Yes,
Greg?
I want you to go. My list is still kind of jumbling.
My number 5. Here we go. Batman and Robin.
Oh.
I love Arnold as Mr. Freeze, but it's a stupid movie. It's a shitty movie, and I just don't like George Clooney as Batman. So that's all I can say about that.
You like him as Bruce Wayne, though.
No.
The
Batsuit's got nipples, for God's sake. Or was that Val Kilmer?
Both.
Yeah.
Val Kilmer's second suit, I think, had the nipples. I don't know if his first suit did.
Okay.
Because he had 2 suits in the movie.
I don't like the vibe they were going for. The really cheap. It was almost like a cheesy modern Adam West Bond, Batman for me. I don't know.
Hey.
Sorry, Greg. Yeah, I still remember like McDonald's having like the collector's cups when the movies came out and stuff. That was probably the best part about that movie was the collector's cups. I would argue I would rather watch Batman. What's the Val Kilmer one?
Forever.
I would rather watch Batman Forever than Batman and Robin.
Okay.
Batman Forever had Seal in it. I mean, that's how you know it's good. Well, no, but the soundtrack. It was like Kiss from a Rose or Kiss by a Rose. Or
I was thinking, like, was he in it?
No, we're not debating best soundtracks here.
That's a good topic, though. We should save that for another day. Best movie soundtrack.
To do that.
All right, so my number 5.
Oh, sorry. Justin.
No, I was saying my number 5 is Batman and Robin. It's a shitty movie. There you go. I'm done.
Vinny, what was the song in Batman Forever at Edward Nygma's apartment? Did you say you were listening to that, or that popped up on your Spotify like a year ago or two ago?
That one.
Yeah, because that just rung a bell.
On my playlist, but yeah, I'll have to find that one, figure out what it is. But that was a good one. I remember that.
That was a great song. Yeah,
Discover Weekly, and it was one of those ones where I just sat there and was like, "This song is very familiar," and it was. I had to look it up and I'm like, oh, and then I sent it to you guys. And of course, awesome. Greg got it right away.
Yeah, I was like, oh, yeah. So my number 5 is one of the biggest disappointments in my life, media-wise. It's probably second to MLB 2K9, and that movie is Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. I don't know why I had high expectations for it, but I did, because, like, you know what? I'm going to give Ben Affleck a shot. I'm going to give Henry Cavill another shot, and then, you know, we'll kind of see. It's going to be doing some things. Yeah, it pooped its pants real bad. And a big part of that poop in the pants was Batman vs. Superman was what they did with Jesse Eisenberg.
Oh, yeah.
What the hell was that? The Red Capes are coming. Like, someone smacked that fool. And the whole, I'm sorry, you know, RoboCop Batman with the voice modulator. I know people like that. I don't. Give me Bale. Go, I'll take that any day of the week.
Where is he?
He's out there trying. He's out there straining his vocal cords while Ben Affleck, you know, has RoboCop to do his voice.
Yeah.
I do not think I like a scene in that movie. What is my favorite scene in that movie? I think my favorite scene in the movie is when Batman has the warehouse fight when he's going to say, Arthur, why'd you say that name? But then my problem with that movie is when he puts the little deactivators on the bad guys. He throws like 7 of them when he first busts in the room, you know, through the floor. You know, that was some pretty thick wood too. So you need like a cannon to get through that. But then he throws the little EMPs on the guy's guns. And if you listen to the sound effect, it's the Mario power-up sound effect. It goes, it deactivates the gun. I'm like, well, now that's all I can freaking hear. So ruined.
Yeah.
It is pretty violent, though. Like when he throws a crate at that one guy's head and then his brains fall out. I'm like, oh, that was.
Yeah. I guess you're right.
But the problem is, too, like Ben Affleck, he really bulked up for that role.
Yes, he did.
I mean, he got in great shape, but then, you know, when he's approaching that guy, and he does look scary, but he looks so like tight and everything. Yeah. Like it's just I mean, it is kind of like Frank Miller, Dark Knight Returns inspired, but it's a little too, I don't know, it's a little too toit for me. So yeah, that movie, that script was awful.
Yeah, it's not good.
Who writes that line? Is she with you? I thought she was with you. What the fuck? It's Wonder Woman.
I kind of liked that line. I'm not gonna lie.
You like that line? I would have been fine right there if they're like mouths just open like Looney Tune style, like
just look over and be like
I would have been fine with that, or if like their pants dropped or something like that, and they got this huge hard on or something. That would have been fine, but
that would have been hard to do with the tent in their pants.
Well, with Ben Affleck's suit, I think it was. I mean, they're both wearing I think Superman suit was like made of Under Armour or something, so it could have happened, but. I don't know.
Blushing over there.
There wasn't a good scene in that movie. There were better scenes in Man of Steel.
See, I've never seen Man of Steel.
Man of Steel was a better movie, and that was Superman. That's Superman versus Batman.
See, I don't like Superman.
Superman's worse. Superman's terrible. But you got Batman in this movie, and you made it worse than the Superman movie. So that is a fail. That is why it's number 5.
All right.
Terrible.
Okay, quickly before I move on to number 4, the song that was in Edward Nygma's apartment as he's walking around is "Bad Days" by the Flaming Lips. Great song.
Okay, yeah.
Go
nice.
listen to it.
Good
Fantastic.
call. Good call.
Very cool.
Number 4 for me is Greg's number 5, Batman versus Superman. I did see bits and pieces of that one. It was bad. But there were parts that I liked the dark aspect of it with the Batman. I think the one scene that always sticks out to me is the dream sequence, spoiler alert, that Batman has, where he's trying to fight. He's trying to find, I think, Superman, and he's like fighting a bunch of guys in like the desert or something like that.
Yeah, like post-apocalyptic.
He has a gun in that scene too, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he's shooting people. I thought that was kind of like, I'm like, okay, that's not Batman. Like he's not supposed to be shooting people. So I thought that was kind of stupid. But I like the part. I think that Superman comes up to him and then like cuts him in half with his laser eyes or something like that happens to that effect. And I thought that scene was somewhat memorable and cool, but I also did think the line of I thought she was with you. No, I thought that was kind of funny.
In the trailer.
I know.
Yeah,
the trailer too.
And they did use it.
The other problem I have with the post-apocalyptic scene is when the guys betray him, when they think it's the kryptonite in the box, and it turns out to be just like some green light bulbs, and they start shooting Batman's like allies, and he just goes, "No!" I'm like, "Oh God!" It's brought back the Darth Vader. No, terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't good, but it made number 4. So
fair enough.
I didn't see Dawn of, or was it Justice League? And I had to put that as my bottom.
That
really
I'm telling you, it's not that bad. Okay, never mind.
I admire Justin for defending it. He defends.
Yeah, you're going to die on that hill, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Wait till you find out where it's on my list. All right. Is it my turn?
Number 4 for you.
Number 4, my number 4. I know this may be hard to believe. My number 4 is Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Okay.
Now I come in seeing this from a different viewpoint than you guys. I believe one of you bought me the Blu-ray for Christmas because I asked for it. I don't know if you guys remember this. Was it you, Vinny?
No.
Okay, Greg, maybe it was you. Somebody bought, or maybe it was your mom, Vinny. Maybe your mom bought it for me.
Why would I don't think I would have bought that. That would have been a terrible gift. That would have been that'd be a gift if I hated you, Justin. I love you. I don't want to buy you.
So the next once I get a Batman versus Superman, I know it's over. So I remember I was super excited for it when it got announced. I remember because we had just moved into our first house in Oak Lawn. I remember listening to a podcast and they said, "Oh my gosh, we just got this for," they were talking about it was breaking news at that point that they were going to make this movie, and I was super excited for it. Flash forward, it came out. I didn't have time to go see it, so I waited till it was on Blu-ray or DVD, whatever. And I remember you two both telling me you don't want to see this movie. It's bad. It's horrible. Don't stop asking to watch it. Stop asking us about it. It's stupid. You don't want to see it. And so that took my expectations, which I know the audio version. My expectations were here, and that lowered them to about here. That's okay, which low. On the audio version, I'm literally all the way down to the ground at this point. And so when I saw it, I went in with very low expectations, and I'd say it met my what am I doing? It met my expectations. So I wasn't that upset. I think it had some moments. Do I like Ben Affleck as Batman? No. I think he's probably him and George Clooney are up there for probably being the worst Batmans in my opinion. Didn't like that.
Water, wet.
Thank you, Vinny.
Now, that movie should be hired just for that line alone.
Hey, that's a good point. That might be the best scene of the movie.
Hey, I'll be honest. I totally forgot that movie. That line was from that movie. I'm not gonna lie. Awesome. Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne's in it. You gotta praise that. Come on now. So
he's good in it too.
Is it? And I kind of like the Batmobile in that movie. I don't know.
Oh no, you don't.
I mean, it's not good. But it's not. Oh, then he's looking for a sound clip right now.
No, I'm looking. I don't know what the.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, I didn't see too much of that.
It's not. It's not good, but it's not horrible. I'll put it that way.
It's not horrible, but it's following up the Tumblr, which I know you hate, Justin.
I love the Tumblr.
Oh, you do?
I love the Tumblr.
Oh,
I
you
have
don't like the Tumbler, Vinny.
I have the Lego.
I was surprised about that.
I have the Lego tumbler. I like it so much.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
That's
right.
So yeah, I'm just waiting for Vinny's eyes to just turn red when he sees what the
still like the
Batmobile looks
Tumbler
like.
better.
I love the Tumbler, and I don't hate the dark. I'm sorry, I don't hate the Superman Batman Batmobile. It's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad.
It's like a mix between like the original,
the Keaton and the Tumbler.
Yeah, it's inspired a little bit. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to shut up because I know I can't convince you guys otherwise.
Do you know my favorite Ben Affleck scene as Batman is actually in the movie Suicide Squad when he takes down Deadshot in the alley. I think
you don't really hear him talk or anything, right?
Well, you do. You go, I don't want to do this in front of your daughter.
Oh,
you know,
I haven't seen that movie in forever.
That was actually a pretty good scene. The way he kind of flies in like that in traditional Batman style, that was actually really well done. Mm-hmm. So shout out David Ayer to that one because he was probably best in that movie. And he has that's just not because he has 3 scenes, but they're probably the best 3 written scenes for him. So,
yeah.
And surprisingly enough, if they Affleck more like creative control over it, it might have been better because he's a good director. He's not a good actor, but he is a good visionary. So, or he can be. So, but that's neither here nor there. But
there you go.
My number 4.
That's my number 4. It's up to you now, Greg.
All right, my number 4 is Justice League. I'm working on it. It's
I got to admit, Greg, so much time has gone by. You got to restart from the beginning now, dude.
No, I'm not going back. I'm on chapter 10, but it's only like 30 minutes into the movie. So is every like 5-minute increment a chapter or something?
It gets closer like that, yeah.
I will admit this. I am not lying to you. I did turn it on about a week ago because I got home from work and I had to pick up the kids from somewhere, and I came home, made a sandwich, and popped it on for like 10 minutes. And it was a lot of Aquaman stuff happening.
Oh, yeah.
Which I didn't really care for. And I like Jason Momoa. I think he's cool. But I didn't, I don't know. And then the scene where they visit Commissioner Gordon and then Barry Allen or Ezra Miller Flash. He's trying to be funny, but he's not funny. And then Ben Affleck is just, doing his thing. And it's just not, I don't know. Maybe I just got to finish it. I will finish it for the podcast so we can finally do the anniversary review and have a fair discussion over it. But I'm going to be brutally honest, as I always am. I will tell you things that I like in it if I do see them. I don't know if I've seen things that I've liked in this movie either. So I guess time will tell. But I got another 2 hours to go. So
it's not bad. I'm telling you guys.
Vinny might finish it before, and Vinny's going to avoid it, but we gotta.
Oh, Vinny's never going to finish it. Who? I don't see it.
I think
I'm going to read the crib notes on IMDb.
There we go. Piece together the 5-minute clips on YouTube, but yeah, Justice League Snyder Cut is number 4 on my list. Sorry, Justin.
That's all right. I'll let it slide. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. So, all right.
All right, back to you, Vinny. Number 3.
Number 3 on my list is Batman and Robin. I loved this movie as a kid. Arnold and his one-liners in it are fantastic, Justin. So I don't know what you're getting out of it, but I know it's a joke of a movie, but I still love it. It's really stupid and hokey and corny. But that's kind of what the Kilmer and the George Clooney Batmans kind of were.
Yeah, that was a Schumacher direction. Yeah.
Yeah, that Adam West kind of hokiness to him. But I liked it. It definitely was the worst of the
90s.
In the 90s. But I still loved it better than anything that the Ben Affleck movies and that have come out. So yes, number 3 for me. Not too much to say about it. Is Batman and Robin.
I do have right now, Vinny. I have the top one-liners from Arnold in that movie. Would you like to hear them?
Yes, please.
Let's kick some ice is one. Tonight's forecast, a freeze is coming. Tonight's hell freezes over. Allow me to break the ice. All right, and probably the most important one. All right, everyone, chill.
Yep, I love that one.
I love the one where he's breaking out of Arkham. He's like, always winterize your pipes.
Yeah. Now, Justin, I'm surprised that one wasn't higher on your list. His goons played hockey.
Yes, they did. You're right. You know what? To be
Hockey
honest,
players.
I never saw that one as a kid, so I don't really have any nostalgia for it. And as an adult, I see it, and it's like, oh, this is just garbage. So I think
taking that a step further, Batman and Robin are able to spring hockey skates from their boots. So
yeah, how's
there you
that
go.
work? I don't know how that one works.
They just click them together like the ruby slippers, and you get the ice. I'll get the ice man.
Oh God,
that was the first introduction of, well, I should say in the movies, Bane, though.
That's right.
That's right. Yep.
That's right.
Yep. He was like the Venom experiment by Poison Ivy's boss.
Yep.
What was his name? Doctor. Oh, I forgot his name.
Oh, Hugo. Was that Hugo Strange?
No, it wasn't Hugo Strange. Who was actually a character in the deleted scenes in.
That's right.
In Batman Forever, which they didn't
Dr.
go
Jason
through with.
Woodrow.
Yes.
Yeah, Woodrow.
Woodrow. Okay.
Or Woodrue.
Yeah, Woodrow. Yeah. Dr. Woodrow was a lunatic.
Terrible at names.
It's all good. Yeah, that sounds right. So, all right, Justin.
What are we on? Number
3 for you.
All right. This may come as a surprise to you, but my number 3 is going to be the Snyder cut of the Justice League.
Ooh.
So, yeah, I mean, the Justice League movie, I'm an apologist. The theatrical cut of the movie I enjoyed for what it was. I see you guys looking at me like I'm insane. But the Snyder cut just amped it up. I also really enjoyed the Aquaman movie, so them giving Jason Momoa as Aquaman a little bit more time. I also really like Ezra Miller as the Flash, so I thought they did a good job with that. They also, you guys wouldn't know this because you haven't finished it, but they totally added a bunch more scenes of Cyborg in, and he really steals the show. He was a really cool character. I'm glad they went back and added more stuff with him to do in there.
Okay.
And yeah, I like that they also brought in Darkseid, which Darkseid is not in the original cut at all. It's just
right. It's just Steppenwolf.
Steppenwolf, yeah. Steppenwolf was kind of a shitty villain. So just knowing that there's this other guy controlling all the shots and everything from afar, it's not bad. And then there's a cool little feature at the end that was pretty neat too that you'll have to check out in the epilogue. But yeah, I'm telling you, I overhype a lot of things. I'm not overhyping this movie. It's pretty good.
Yes, you are.
guess we got to finish it.
Fair enough. You know what we need to do? We need to find a time where we're all together and have nothing to do for 4 hours, which never going to happen, and watch this whole movie together.
It's going to be a long time for that to happen.
It's just going to be you.
Agree. Yeah.
It's just going to be you two staring at me, being like, "What the hell is wrong with you?"
Let's
for
kill
4
him.
hours.
Yeah. Greg, you want to go play some Double Dash? Sure.
Yeah.
Turn the TV off and start playing.
No, it's getting good. It's getting to the good part. It's getting to the good part. You've been saying that for 2.5 hours, but it really is going to happen. No. So yeah, that's my number 3, Justice League Snyder cut. There you go.
There you go. All right.
Yep.
My number 3 is Batman and Robin. This movie is goofy, silly, fun. But it's also not trying to be something that it's, not, which I feel like the Ben Affleck movies are doing. They're trying a little bit too hard. I think Joel Schumacher took a much different tone where he's actually trying to make a silly comic book adaptation. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I know George Clooney's on record as he's not viewed it quite that way, because he said at the time that they thought it was going to be a very good career move, which didn't turn out to be the case. But yeah, you know what? Like you said, the silly one-liners from Arnold, Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy, I thought was pretty good.
Yeah, that's true.
George Clooney, he is what he is. But yeah, it's just shenanigans from start to end. But so much enjoyment out of that movie as a kid, and the times I rewatched that, I mean, just left or right, and I'll still pop on a scene from it every now and again where I'll search on YouTube or whatever just to have a good laugh and be like, oh my God, I can't believe how much I love this. But it's good memories and a lot of good time spent. So definitely enjoyed it, and it never turned me off of Batman. It just made my love for it even stronger, not knowing what was coming in the future, I suppose. So Batman Robin, my number 3.
Cool. Good job. Good pick.
Getting down right here. Number 2.
Number 2 for me. Boy, it's a tough one. I'm gonna have to say The Dark Knight Rises is my number 2. It's a great ending to the trilogy. It would have been I still always think what it would have been like if Heath Ledger never passed away, what his character would have been. I never really went to read anything about that, so I don't know if you guys have any input on what his character was supposed to be. I've never went to try to search for it just because I don't want to be disappointed, because I'm sure it would have been awesome.
Well, I don't ever think it was well, I don't want to say that because I don't know what Nolan had already preconceived in the trilogy, because Heath Ledger passed fairly recently after The Dark Knight released. So I don't know how much he had planned in The Dark Knight Rises already. So I don't know what the plans were, but yeah, that's interesting. But that's like a big what if in that trilogy. But sorry, go ahead.
No, but yeah, it was a great way to end it. I just, for the way that trilogy was, I think that was a really solid trilogy of, usually trilogies aren't good from beginning to end, but I think that was one of the few trilogies that was solid from beginning to end. So number 2, Dark Knight Rises.
Awesome.
Good choice. All right. My number 2 is Batman Begins. Like the movie, I like the only thing, again, I think it's obviously one of the best Batman movies in my opinion in general, just because I love all the Nolan movies. And like you said, Vinny, I think as a trilogy, like there's not a weak movie in the trilogy. The only thing that kind of bugs me about it is at the time I guess it's more of a thing now, is I'm so over the origin story thing. I did think it was interesting how they tied it into the League of Shadows, but I'll be honest, the first time I saw it, I was like, I want to see him kicking butt in Gotham. I don't care about the League of Shadows stuff. But now looking back, I get why it did it. It introduced Ra's al Ghul and him coming and bringing the assassins and everything. So I get that. But as a time, I remember in high school seeing that, I was like, this is what? Like, it was one of those where it was very different. And I had to watch it a couple of times before I really liked it. Tom Wilkinson as Carmine Falcone, I loved. I thought that was an awesome casting. I thought he just played such a scumbag. I thought that was really good. Gary Oldman is well, at this point he was Lieutenant Gordon, right?
Sergeant Gordon,
Lieutenant
at the end.
Gary Oldman nails that character in my mind. Like, I'm really excited to see, I can't think of the actor's name now that's playing Gordon in the new Batman movie.
Jeffrey Wright.
I'm really excited because I get a really cool vibe from him playing, I think it's Lieutenant Gordon or Sergeant. It's not Commissioner Gordon yet.
He's Lieutenant in the movie.
Okay. So I love that. Morgan Freeman. I mean, Christian Bale nailed it for me. And while I love the series, I feel like the first one I probably like the least, just because it takes so long to get going and introduce everything. But still, it's a great movie and an awesome Batman movie for sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good
there
stuff.
You go. And Cillian Murphy as Scarecrow. Legit creepy. Legit scary. Yeah,
he's so good in that movie.
Yeah.
Number 2 for me is The Dark Knight Rises. It is a fantastic movie. It is it's my least favorite out of the Nolan trilogy, but I don't want that to sound like I don't like it, because I really do. But it's just, it's what dampens the movie for me is Anne Hathaway, to be perfectly honest. I don't buy her Catwoman all the time. And then I like Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character through many parts, but I like because he's kind of going on a separate journey throughout the movie. And obviously the way he ended, and they kind of threw that little, here's my legal name.
I wish they would have made a Robin movie with him. I was so excited for that.
I love the way that kind of ends right there. And the last thing Bruce Wayne leaves him is the are the coordinates to the Batcave, which
and
he
he's
finds at
rappelling
the
down.
end.
Yeah,
I think that whole ending scene is just phenomenal with all the different things happening with the Hans Zimmer score going on in the background. Is just filmmaking at its finest right there. My favorite scene of the movie is when Batman finally returns. He's on the Batpod. This is after Bane robs the stock exchange, or they're messing with the stock market. And then there's that scene, it's that wide shot, shot in the IMAX camera of just all the police cars chasing him at night. They're coming from, he heads back downtown. They're behind him. They're in front of them. And you just see the flashing lights everywhere with the score going. It just gets your heart pounding. It's just so awesome. He eventually flies away in the Batwing.
Yeah.
But that scene was just shot. Yeah, that scene was so magnificent. And my favorite of the movie, and how appropriate it is, we're talking about rich people and owners and everything, is just couple scenes fewer, when Bane first robs the stock exchange and he sees a little weasel right there with the ID badge, and he goes, "This is the stock exchange. There's no money you can steal." And he goes, "Really? Then why are you people here?" He just smashes his head on the keyboard. I was like, yeah, that's fucking awesome. So, and good point too. Why are they there if they're not stealing money?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Dark Knight Rises number 2 for me.
Good. That there's some good points there for sure. Yeah.
Down to number 1. Vinny.
Right. Number 1 for me is Batman Begins. Justin, I know you said you were tired of the origin story. I thought that was a great take.
It was
origin story. Something that was, they kind of went more into how he got his training, which I thought was awesome. I'm not sure how that applies to the comics, if that's how he actually learned how to become Batman, but I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, so just to touch on that quick. So I think in a variation of the comics, I think Liam Neeson's character is originally named Ducard, and Ducard was one of his original trainers. In the League of Shadows is actually a take on the League of Assassins, which they had in the comics, but I think they just want to switch up the name a little bit so it didn't sound like Batman was a murderer or something like that.
Yeah.
But that was definitely part of the comic book storyline, or at least in some variation of it.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, but I just love the backstory. It did take a little bit to get get moving, but I think one of my favorite scenes is when the hypnotic drug is released, and the kid's like looking at Batman, and it's just like flying through the air, and you see like the eyes and everything.
Yeah.
Like the police officer riding on the horse. I believe it was a police officer, right? Or was it Scarecrow?
That was a Scarecrow.
Was that it?
Okay.
Yeah.
That whole scene was just awesome and super trippy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was a great movie, a great beginning to the movie. I was a little slower, but I still think it was fantastic, especially the last half an hour of the movie with everything going on was just great. And I loved him kicking everybody out of the mansion too.
Oh yeah,
like that, the whole Bane line thing, being rich people,
a
bunch of phonies, get out of here,
you sycophantic suck-ups.
Drink my wine, eat my food, get out, I don't need you here.
Stop smiling, it's not a joke. Get it? And then the one Wayne executive was like, "The apple has fallen very far from the tree, Mr. Wayne."
and I loved him as Bruce Wayne. I thought he was a great Bruce Wayne. Very believable. It's like the rich pompous guy, but then also being Batman as well. So number 1 for me was Batman Begins.
Awesome.
Yeah, good pick. All right.
Well, Justin.
I think it's obvious. My number 1 is, out of all these, Dark Knight Rises. I will admit though, I think going into it, I was so hyped for this movie. This is an example of where you get too hyped and it doesn't meet your expectations, because this did not meet my expectations coming off of The Dark Knight, whereas Batman vs Superman met my expectations because it was so low. But anyway, I digress. I think you nailed it, Greg, talking about it as your number 2 is Joseph Gordon-Levitt makes this movie for me. Like, I love Christian Bale as Bruce Wayne. I think he's a fine Batman. Like you said, Vinny, he's an excellent Bruce Wayne. But Joseph Gordon-Levitt, I love that character arc. I loved the whole oh, you should go by your middle name, Robin. And I'm like, oh, can we please get a Robin movie with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, like, or a Nightwing movie, like when he's Nightwing and he's in, what's the town Nightwing's in? Bloodhaven, I think, is the town that they have Nightwing taken care of. Michael Caine in that whole like about, I want you to, you need to, at some point, you're going to have to stop doing this. You can't save everyone. And that ending, that final scene where, it's exactly as he foreshadowed about. I just hope one day I see you, at a outdoor, restaurant or whatever, and I'm just gonna smile and go on my way. And there he is.
Pretty much saying that knows that he made it. You know?
I'm gonna say the question is, did he just envision that, or did it actually happen?
That is the question. That is the Nolan twist on all of this.
You blew my mind. I never even thought about that, Vinny.
Well, if we go over,
kind of ruining it for me.
Well, if we go over, let's go over the evidence right here. So we see the scene. So it's portrayed the exact way, Alfred framed it, So it's the exact same situation, the exact same table. He's looking in the exact same spot. So it's like, yes, that could be a fantasy, but then they drop in the little line right there when Morgan Freeman's talking to the Wayne Tech nerds and saying, oh, the autopilot was actually working on the software patch on the Batwing when he flew it out to sea with the nuke. So that makes you think he's alive. So it's just kind of like back and forth.
Yeah.
We're not too sure. That's the Nolan twist on that right there. So
I loved the twist. I'll be honest, I don't know what I was thinking, but I didn't see it coming right away, as with Talia al Ghul and being,
Oh, you didn't see that coming?
I think at the end, right before she turned, I'm like, oh, I know where this is going. But like, I did not, but up until that point, I didn't really think about it too much. So I liked that. Tom Hardy as Bane, I liked. And I know from the initial like trailers, they went back and like digitally edited his voice, so it was
that clearer.
I didn't like. Didn't like that.
I did not like that. Nope.
Because I almost wish they would have made it even more clear, because I still have a hard time understanding what the hell he's saying in that movie. But
he was hard to understand, but it was almost like it was too loud.
Yeah,
it's like there was a built-in microphone, in his thing, which I guess there could have been. Who the hell knows what that thing is? But
in that scene where the police are trying to take back the city, and you got Matthew Modine kind of leading the charge, and
Private Joker,
they're all fighting, and the only thing I didn't like, and maybe this is just me, is that whole section of the movie seemed kind of rushed, like. Bane takes over. He's moving the weapons around constantly. The city's in lockdown. Oh, Batman got out of the underground prison. Oh, Batman showed up. Okay. Oh, we're fighting at City Hall. Oh, the movie's over. Like there's
a lot going on.
It went really, really quick. So I don't know how you space that out and still make it a time, not a time sink, but
right. It's supposed to be a 5-month span if you remember the dialogue. Like that's how long the bomb will expire, or whatever, after that weird Russian scientist takes out the core or something.
That's
like
right.
That.
Yeah.
So
I can
get that.
Out of all of them, that was definitely out of these 5, that was my favorite. I'd still say that The Dark Knight is probably. I'll be honest. The Dark Knight probably takes Batman 89's spot for number 1 overall out of all Batman movies for me.
You can make that argument. Yeah, sure.
Out of the 5 we have on our Slime 5, Batman Dark Knight Rises, takes my number 1.
Very nice.
There you go.
Very nice. To round it off, my number 1 obviously is Batman Begins. That's the one that's in my top 3 and has been at my number 1 favorite Batman movie at several points of my life. Actually, I absolutely fell in love with that movie when it first came out. And just to, like you said, Vinny, I almost feel like that was kind of like the birth of the retelling of an origin story we already knew, but it was done well. I can know for a fact that definitely inspired the Bond producers to make Casino Royale and tell Bond first, that like they got that directly from Christopher Nolan. They pretty much admitted that. And I like you said, I think it's done really well. It is slow to start. I love the whole training montage. I love when Liam Neeson tells him, you can engage 6 men. We'll teach you how to engage 600. I'm like, oh shit, that's awesome. It's like, how to disappear. We'll teach you how to become truly invisible. I'm like, yes, that is what we need. And then that first scene on the docks, right there when he's busting the Falcone freight yard and everything. And, he's doing all his Batman stuff and they're all shooting in the dark. They don't know what they're doing. And then
that is a cool
busts
scene.
through his limo, lifts him up and goes, I'm Batman. And, just flies off. I think that's totally awesome. And I really love one thing that I do love in Batman Begins more than I do in The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises is that his suit, he constructs his suit out of different parts, albeit, a lot of it is from, Wayne Enterprises,
Wayne
high tech
stuff,
and everything. So when Morgan Freeman develops his next suit, it's already like preconceived and everything. But here he's just he's got the, grappling gun. He's got the Nomex survival suit, but he's painting everything black. He's ordering parts for his cowl and,
in bulk,
ordering the bat in bulk, 10,000 bat ears or something like that. And he keeps the metal arm blades that he got from his training and he spray paints them black. And then he has to figure out the memory cloth and everything for the cape. What I did like about that suit is that they finally gave the cape like a purpose in like live action. Cause before it was just always kind of like a complimentary piece, cause that's how it was written in the comic books, obviously. But here it's like, okay, now he actually has use for it because now this memory cloth thing is like a wingsuit almost, so we can, jump off of buildings and, like be okay. So I really like that. I'm a big fan of the Tumbler. I know you're not the biggest fan, Vinny, but I thought that was a neat little touch, kind of having like that tank-like vehicle. I love that chase and everything. And that reveal at the end when he's gonna when you get the Joker, when we saw, ooh, this is gonna be exciting, but we really had no idea what we were gonna get.
Not a clue. No.
In the next movie. I think it was just an awesome ending. And right now I'd say it probably stands 2 or 3 of my favorite Batman movies of all time. So I love Batman Begins. Absolutely phenomenal.
I also love the scene when he's in the prison and he's fighting off those guys.
Oh yeah.
I don't need your protection. They're not protecting from they're not protecting you, we're protecting them, and they're all beat up and trying to get themselves up off the ground. I just love that too.
That was great. And that scene was like very shocking. People were like, oh, he's waking up. He's like in some weird Korean jail or something like that. I'm like, what's going on here? But all really well told. So big fan of that movie. That's it, boys. Those are our. Sorry, we didn't have a better draw. But you guys want to share your favorite Batman movie? I know, Justin, you said The Dark Knight. What about you, Vinny? What's number 1 on your list, at least for today?
I think mine's going to have to be The Dark Knight. I love that movie. Heath Ledger as a Joker was just so absolutely fantastic, and I love it was really dark. And I just love the fact that it also took place in Chicago too.
Yeah, that was great. I love that.
The movie was taking place around the streets of Chicago and the underground roads and stuff like that. I love that.
Yeah, Lower Wacker and everything.
When they were filming that was when my dad's route for where he worked took him downtown a lot, and I remember him telling me about, we saw a bunch of people setting up, and a family friend worked for Metro at the train station. He's like, they did the scene where he drives the motorcycle through Union Station, and I mean it's like a split second scene in the movie. Cut most of it, but that one's great. That the intro, I just remember sitting there with the Joker killing all the other clowns before he leaves, and
the bank robber.
Whoa, this is gonna be nuts. So and like you said, Vinny, being able to see all these different historic not landmarks, but buildings, and being near Chicago and being down there all the time as a kid, and then seeing these in the movie, it was like it made it a little bit more special, I think, for us, just because we've been there so many times and we live so close to it. So
totally. Yeah, I would have to agree with you guys in Dark Knight, but that's been around. I mean, Batman 1989 is like always around there too. I mean, that's the one I really enjoyed as a kid. But I mean, Heath Ledger just steals the show for me, and I really love Aaron Eckhart as Harvey Dent Two-Face. I think his performance is way over. I mean, not taking anything away from the late Heath Ledger, but his performance is kind of hidden a little bit by the Joker, but he is so good in that movie, as obviously a very different Two-Face than Tommy Lee Jones, but just another magnificent performance in my opinion.
I still remember watching, I had it on one time, my parents were visiting and I had it on, and my dad had never seen it, and so we were watching it, and then we got to the end where Aaron Eckhart or Harvey Dent is gone full Two-Face, and then he gets pushed off the whatever,
the ledge
complex ledge, whatever, and he's killed, and And Batman's like, they need a person that can, I don't know. I can't do that anymore. But anyway, my dad just stops. He goes, they're going to blame Batman for that? What the hell kind of movie is this? That's not Batman's fault. And that was it. I'm like, well, yeah, but you see, no, Batman shouldn't have to deal with that shit. That's stupid. I'm like, okay, you're not wrong.
He's not wrong, but
the other thing I'll have to say, and
Harvey Dent's the hero they deserve, or the hero they
needed at the time or whatever. Yeah,
but not the one they deserved.
Exactly. The only other thing I'll say is, and I never really got too into this except recently, is on HBO Max. There's a bunch of the animated Batman movies that are more adult.
Yeah,
they are really good. If you've never watched, it's called Batman: The Dark Knight Returns. Peter Weller does the voice of Batman. Good old RoboCop himself.
Yeah.
Ariel Winter does the voice of Robin. Who else am I looking for here? And Michael Emerson, who I remember him from Lost. He was the voice of Joker. That's really a really good one. And then Batman Under the Red Hood is also phenomenal.
That's a great movie.
Neil Patrick Harris plays Dick Grayson. Kelly Hu plays Ms. Lee. That's a really good one. And then the only other one I'll say, and I bought this because I'm a Ninja Turtle fan, is Batman versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Came out about 2 years ago because they did a whole comic series where those two universes collide. And it was actually pretty good. Troy Baker does Batman. Kyle Mooney from SNL does Michelangelo. Carlos Alzacari from Reno 911 and Taco Bell Dog fame plays Bane. And probably my favorite, Brian George plays Alfred. Do you guys know who Brian George is? If you've seen him on TV multiple times.
I feel like I know the name.
All right, I'll just tell you. He plays Babu from Seinfeld, and he does Alfred in this animated one.
Okay, that's not what I was thinking.
It's actually really well done. So I'll just, with the animated stuff's actually, I think, where DC hits its stride, because a lot of their live action stuff, some people would be wrong when they say it's not very good.
Who'd you say? You said Troy Baker did
Batman.
He does the
Batman
Joker and Troy Baker did the Joker in Batman Arkham, one of the Arkham, the one between Arkham City and Arkham Knight.
The third one, yeah.
Which one was that?
I don't remember. Something. I know I have it. I beat it. It was good.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to go through? We have a few write-ins. Do you guys want to go over these real
absolutely.
quick? All right. Caleb wrote in on the Game Informer Facebook group and said, The Dark Knight is my favorite, but Batman 66 is an underappreciated gem that I need to make sure gets a shout out here. I'm assuming you're focusing on the live action stuff because there's a bunch of great animated ones as well. Caleb, I completely agree with you.
Totally.
So, which one you guys want to take the next one?
I will. Trent writes in, my favorite Batman movie is definitely The Dark Knight. The Nolan trilogy are the three best Batman movies in my opinion.
I wouldn't argue that. I would definitely listen to that.
I can get on board with that for sure. Luis writes in, my favorite is Batman 89. I went to see it at night with my dad when I was 6 years old at this movie theater that was near his work. They show it their biggest screen they had. We loved every minute of it, from the acting to the visuals to seeing the Batmobile in action. My dad and me had a great time. This is one of the few memories I hold dear. That's why Batman 89 is my favorite Batman movie. Love that story.
That's a great one, Luis. Thank you. All right. My wife, Erica, wrote in. Also, she was laughing hysterically when she heard the stuff about her calling me out in the last episode, Vinny. She likes the boxing bell. The ding, ding, ding when, All right. So Erica said Batman Returns for sure is the one she likes. She said, I think it's the only Batman movie I've seen multiple times all the way through. I love basically anything Tim Burton does, and no villain is creepier than Danny DeVito as the Penguin. I don't know if I would say he's creepy, just weird.
Oh, he's creepy. He's really creepy. Oh,
and he bites off. Whose nose does he bite off?
The marketing guy for his campaign, who's also in It's Always Sunny. If you remember, right, he is. Yeah, episode made a cameo.
You're right. So I love Batman Returns. I feel like I've seen Batman Returns more than Batman 89 just because it's always on TV. It's got a really different vibe too than Batman 89.
Well, it's Burton Unleashed.
Yes,
so.
It's like, hey, we liked 89. You can do what you want now. And
right.
So
of course Erica would like that one.
Of course she would. Yeah. And Michelle Pfeiffer's a pretty cool. She's a pretty good Catwoman.
Yeah.
I had no problem with her as that character. So
Christopher Walken is Mac too.
Yes. Yep. Max Schreck, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah, Max Schreck. Yep.
Yeah. There you go. All right, Vinny, you want to take your mom's?
Sure. Lynn writes in, got to go back to 1989 with the first Batman. Love Michael Keaton as Batman and Jack Nicholson as the Joker. The second one, Batman Returns, was just as good with Danny DeVito as the creepy Penguin and Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman. I also did like the new Joker movie. Oh, I'm guessing just yep.
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah.
Yes.
This might be kind of a hot take, but I feel like since more time has gone by, I'm not a fan of that movie as much as I was initially.
You weren't crazy. Didn't we see it?
We saw it together when we were at Hollywood Boulevard.
And I could tell when we first came out because I thought it was absolutely.
It was good.
I was jaw dropped when I saw that movie. And I could tell like the rest of the group wasn't as into it as I was. I don't know.
I think it was good. Like I'm all for a dark, serious movie, but I feel, man, that one, like I needed a bath after
it
that
was
movie.
Twisted. And it was dirty. It was twisted.
When he blows Robert De Niro's character away on live TV, I was like, oh my God.
That was
like,
awesome.
It was a good movie. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's one. If you said, hey, let's watch it's not a superhero movie. Let's watch a DC movie.
Yeah.
I'd be like, nah, I don't need to watch that again. I think I'm good.
You want to watch the 4-hour
Yes. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
You'll have to take a bath just because you've been sitting in your own stew for 4 hours.
No comments.
I love Joker. Oh, it was so
that was a
good.
great movie.
It was good. Don't get me wrong.
It was phenomenal too. And then when he blows away Robert, you get what you fucking deserve.
Right?
Like, yeah.
It was definitely a very good biopic on the mental health needs of our country.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
So.
And definitely an interesting twist on the character.
Oh yeah. Oh no, definitely. I mean, definitely a good movie. Just I don't know. I don't think I need to see it again. I think I got what I got and I'm good. And yeah,
I don't even think Joaquin Phoenix did any acting. I think they just followed him around with the camera.
You might be right. I think that's just his general way of acting in general.
Yeah, it's just a day in the life. So.
Yeah, I mean, he had that movie where he fell in love with a phone. Was it Her? Was that?
Yeah, that was a Spike Jonze movie.
Was it really?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Her or something. Yeah.
Once I heard the premise, I'm like, that sounds like Joaquin Phoenix, and I looked it up. I'm like, damn it, it was.
Damn it, it is. Of course.
So there you go.
To close it off, Pretzel Vince writes in, since my only exposure to Batman was the TV show with Adam West, I never knew the true story of Batman. I never realized how dark the character was. So when I saw the first Batman movie with Michael Keaton as the Batman, I was impressed. My favorite is the first Batman movie with Keaton and Jack Nicholson. So another shout to 89 Batman.
There you go.
That is it.
All right. Well, we've made it another week, guys. Episode 45 is down. Well, if you're still listening, thank you for listening. Remember, you can find us on YouTube at Baseball and Whatever. You can subscribe and like us. We would appreciate that. Thank you very much. You can text us at 1-913-808-3278. That number again is 1-913-808-FART.
I will say really quick that I plan on texting the show tomorrow with a immediate reaction.
Please
to the Batman, so you can get my fresh hot take on it.
I will be waiting.
Instinct reaction. So that will be coming in via the text line.
Somebody I used to play softball with said it was the best Batman movie ever made. So, and he's not one to make grand claims like yours truly is.
So let me qualify this really quick by saying I have not set my expectations very high. I mean, they're not low. They're not low, but they're not like super high either. I'll be like, oh, Batman versus Superman, yeah, and then deep down knowing, oh, it's probably gonna be shit. But this one, I'm going with an open mind, and I've been avoiding a lot of like the first two trailers is about as far as I went. Everything else I'm avoiding. So knock on wood, we'll see how this goes.
We're gonna need a play-by-play once you start.
Yes, Greg, I won't give any spoilers.
No spoilers.
Give my immediate reaction to the text line, and hopefully I'll be coming back with.
It's either going to be Greg's
news.
reaction to Rogue One or Greg's reaction to The Last Jedi. It's going to be one or the other.
Those are usually. I don't have an in between reaction to a movie very often.
It's feast or famine. So
right, it pretty much is. This is a pass fail course race.
So yeah, if you see the new Batman, text in, let us know what you think.
I will. It'll be coming through the text line.
Definitely do that. Any listeners, do that as well. You can tweet us at Baseball and What. You can reach us on Instagram at Baseball and Whatever. You can email the show at baseballandwhatever@gmail.com or baseballandwhateverpodcast@bellyupsports.com. We are available on all your podcast apps. Apple, give us a 5-star review. Spotify, do the same. Google, Anchor, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, you name it, we are there. Thank you again for listening to Baseball and Whatever. Have a great weekend, and we will see you next week for episode 46. Take care, everybody.
Take care.
See ya.